Welcome everybody to this webinar brought to you by Baxter Media and Tourism Fiji. I'm your host, Zephan McMillan, Virtual Events Coordinator at Baxter Media, and today is Wednesday, October 12th. Our presenters are Hannah Townsend from Tourism Fiji and John Murray from Fiji Airways. Thanks for watching, and I'll hand things over to Hannah.
Will do. Thank you again for having us, Zephan. We're looking forward to sharing a little bit about Fiji with you all today. So we'll go ahead and get started here. So here's just a quick overview of what we'll be talking about today. We'll kick it off with some news from John at Fiji Airways. We'll go through why Fiji now, and we'll take you a quick trip around the islands and our various different regions in Fiji. Go back there. We'll go through some of our current entry requirements, and then we'll talk about our new Matai program. So we will kick it off with sending it over to John at Fiji Airways to talk a little bit about our exciting news of a flight route.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Hannah, and Bula, everybody. I've already been introduced, but my name is John Murray. I am the Canada Sales Manager for Fiji Airways, and I am based in Toronto. I just want to say before I start that I'm really grateful for this opportunity to work with Fiji Tourism as well as Goway and Baxter to present this webinar for you. And thank you to all of you for joining today. This is a great opportunity. We are really excited about Fiji Airways coming to Canada, and we believe this is going to open up some great new opportunities for Canadians, give them an opportunity to visit Fiji. And once I'm finished, Hannah will give you all the reasons why Fiji is such a fantastic destination and well worth the visit. But for now, what I'm going to do is go over the basics of the airline itself, so you have a better understanding of when and where we're flying, as well as what to expect once you're on board. So as you can see, Bula, Vancouver, very exciting. So as of November 25th, Fiji Airways will be flying direct nonstop between Vancouver and Nandi. So I'm just going to move on to the next slide. To give you an idea, just some of the updates with Fiji. We are mentioning our new A350 aircraft. These are our brand new aircraft. They are very state of the art. If you ever had a chance to fly in a 350, it is a great plane, a great way to get there. Now, full disclosure, I do have to admit that initially we will not be operating the 350 out of Vancouver. We'll be using our Airbus A330s. Which again, still a great way to get down to Fiji, still very comfortable. I'll go over some of the interior in a moment, but just a bit more information on our schedule. We are going to be maintaining our daily flights between Los Angeles and Nandi, and that is going to be the route that's going to be using the 350 initially. But we are really hoping very soon after we launch that we're still going to be working to try and get those 350 service to Vancouver. So keep an ear out for that. We'll be looking forward to making that announcement. In addition, we also have our San Francisco gateway operating 3 times a week, and we also operate 3 times a week from Honolulu. Then that's going either direct, or we do have some stops along the way to get into Nandi. All flights from the West Coast depart in the evening. It's saying they're 10-hour. Now for Vancouver, because it's the furthest, it is the longest flight. You're looking at a little over 11 hours nonstop from Vancouver to Fiji. But still, it's an overnight flight. You leave late at night and you get in early morning 2 days later. So you're able to get in, enjoy your first full day in Fiji, and just a really good way to excuse me. I'm sorry, my voice is a little off today, so bear with me. It's right in there. So moving on, I'm just going to show you our current route network. As you can see, I'm really excited. We're able to put Vancouver on this flight map as one of the destinations. You can see all going into Nandi, which is the hub and the main airport on Fiji. You can see it is on the west coast. And then from there, you can see we have our connections. Now we have our Australia and New Zealand, of course, very important market as well. So you are able to either, visiting Fiji, of course, we welcome everybody. We would love you to come down to Fiji. But if you are using Fiji Airways to connect beyond the state of Australia and New Zealand, all of our fares do allow free stopovers. So if you wanted to spend a few days just to really get a taste of the island, your ticket will allow that. But I think that once you get that taste, you'll be back. Other destinations, you can see our South Pacific network, as well as our Asian network. Now, a few things, because of COVID and flight restrictions and whatnot, we are gradually restoring our network. Most of our South Pacific flights are now up and available for sale. But for Asia, right now, we are operating into Singapore, and we are going to be bringing our Hong Kong and Tokyo flights online very shortly. So again, keep an ear out for that. As you know, both destinations are starting to reopen again. So we are hoping to reintroduce service connecting on there. In addition to our Fiji Airways network, we are also have our Fiji Link. Now you can sort of see in the little bubble, what you have there is the domestic. So our Fiji Link's covering our domestic. As you see, Fiji is an archipelago of several islands. So we do have all the main destinations connected. So you can get beyond. And Hannah will go over some of the island destinations in her presentation. Finally, I should also mention that Fiji Airways is a One World Connect member. So for those of you who are, conscious about frequent flyer with One World, if you are with American or British Airways, you can collect frequent flyer miles traveling on Fiji Airways. Moving on to the interior. Now, this is the picture of the interior of our Airbus A350. As you can see, it's laid out in a 333 configuration. Now, for the 330s, they are still a 242, so it is an 8 abreast. And if you've ever flown on a 9 abreast 330, you know how uncomfortable that can be. Rest assured, Fiji Airways are 8. So we do offer that service. Another feature to mention here, we see our Bulla space with the 350s. The front few rows offer a few extra inches of legroom, and those can be booked at a surcharge. So. That's not something currently on the 330, but again, as we start to grow and move on, we're hoping to introduce some of these services into Vancouver in the very near future. Excuse me, I do apologize. As well, we have our business class. Now, Fiji Airways, all of our long-haul aircraft offer 2 classes of service. We have business class and we have economy class. This, again, is our flagship business class product on the Airbus A350. As you can see, angled seats, 4 across, and these do go to a flat bed. Now, again, on board our A330s, it is going to be a 222 configuration, and they will be flat seats, but they will not be lie flat. So again, just full disclosure on the 330, because I know, especially if you have some more business-oriented clients, that's the difference between flat and lie flat is very important. So I want to make sure I made that distinction. So for now, the business class service is a flat bed, but not a lie flat. But regardless of the aircraft that you fly on, again, just another picture of the fly flat seats on the 350. If any of you have ever seen WestJet's new business class service, it's very similar to that. And again, just want to finally, before I pass it back to Hannah, just want to mention our onboard service. So regardless of the aircraft that you fly, you are going to get some of the best in-flight service to the South Pacific. In fact, I don't know if any of you have gone through this year's Skytrax Award, but Fiji Airways was awarded Best Cabin Crew to Australia and the South Pacific. So very proud of that. Really, Fiji Airways actually scored very well in a number of categories in the recent Skytrax Awards, hitting a lot of top 20s for things like in-flight service, our economy class product, and so forth. And also, we were voted we came in second as the most improved airline this year. So again, we have worked very hard to restore service. Again, you get the full Fijian experience. And again, Hannah will explain this more, but Fijians are among some of those friendly people in the world. And the in-flight service definitely reflects that. You will be well taken care of on board our flights. And we look forward to all of you joining us in the near future, or we are definitely going to be welcoming your clients when you book Fiji Airways. So with that is the end of my part of the presentation. So thank you for your time. I'll be available for some Q&A afterwards, of course, but for now I will pass the presentation back to Hannah.
Thank you, John. Very, very exciting. Appreciate that update. We will now go through just a brief overview of Fiji, the destination itself. And one of our major selling points here is that there's truly something for everyone in Fiji. No matter what type of traveler you are and what you're looking for, Fiji really has it all. It's comprised of 333 islands total, about half of those inhabited. So you can only imagine the number of different resorts and attractions and offerings that come with the islands. So we'll kick it off with romance. Fiji, of course, known as a wonderful honeymoon destination. I might add, it's a very great destination for destination weddings as well. I'm actually planning my own wedding there in next year. So, but yeah, Fiji, just the boutique hotel properties with a small number of rooms and really great romance offerings, private beaches for couples to go to, every day of their trip. It really just caters to that level of romance in Fiji. It's absolutely beautiful. Moving on, it's also a really great wellness destination. And that, comes from the great spa offerings and massages that you'll find everywhere around Fiji. The food that's incredibly fresh and healthy that you get. And really the Fijian culture that lends itself to mindfulness and relaxation and all of those great things. So you'll really find it's a wonderful, wonderful wellness destination. And on the flip side, Fiji is full of adventure. And of course, we're well known for our surfing and our scuba diving and snorkeling and all of those great water-based activities. But a lot of people don't realize that Fiji is really great for land activities as well, and river activities like you see here. There's whitewater rafting, there's hiking and trekking, there's zip lining, there's all sorts of adventure, hard and soft adventure for whatever your travelers are looking for. Fiji, of course, is really, really great for families. We have some incredible family-friendly hotels all around Fiji, big or small. And you'll find at each of these hotels, they offer bula buddies, or, what we call our babysitting services in Fiji. So whether, you want to plan excursions for the whole family, or you want your kids to be in the bula club with their bula buddies for the day while you enjoy some alone time, it is really, really great for families. And of course, what Fiji is really known for is the bula spirit. Fijians are known to be some of the happiest people in the world, and they make visitors feel incredibly welcome. They want to get to know you. They want to hear about your life and share stories around the kava bowl. And it is that very infectious spirit that travelers find when they're there and they bring back home with them. It's just a level of happiness and feeling welcome that I don't think any other destination can quite compare to. And the word bula, which you'll hear everywhere around in Fiji, it means hello. It's a traditional greeting, but it also means happiness, energy, wishes for good life. It's a really powerful word in the Fijian culture. So yeah, culture is definitely one of our top differentiators from other tropical destinations. I mean, just look at those smiles there on those two ladies. Speaking of smiles, there's always a big smile that you'll find in Fiji. You get welcome to every resort with a song called the Bula Malaya, with guitars and singing from the local staff. And you'll be in tears when you hear the goodbye song, which is the Isale upon departing. And I think almost every Fijian in Fiji has an incredible singing voice. And that's something that you'll find when you go there. In the living culture, again, one of the true differentiators of Fiji, it's something that's still very active in Fiji. The locals live in their traditional villages with a chief who oversees the village, like you see here. You will not go to Fiji without participating in a kava ceremony, which includes sitting around a tanoa, a bowl, drinking kava, and enjoying the ceremony that goes along with that. It's a way to be welcomed into the village. Another form of culture that you'll find is the meke, and that's Fijian sort of dance and singing that you'll be able to enjoy and watch at the resorts or participate in. But yeah, the culture is something that really sets us apart. And it's incredibly welcoming, as I said, and something that no matter where you stay in Fiji, whether you're on the mainland or you're out in the remote outer islands or in the inlands of Fiji, you'll find that living culture there. So just a quick note on Fiji's current entry requirements. We do still have some in place. We did recently just remove the requirement to have to take a COVID test upon arrival in Fiji. So now it's just very, very simple. The only requirements that are still left are that you must be fully vaccinated. Children under 18 can enter with a vaccinated parent. So that is the required dosage. A booster is recommended, but not required. And then you still will have proof of travel insurance to enter the country, and that's insurance that covers your COVID quarantine should you need that in destination. If you don't have a policy that includes that, Fiji offers a $39 policy available at Fiji Visitor Insurance, also called Fiji Cares. So really, really simple. You just to board your flight need a couple quick documents and you'll be good to go. Quick Fiji 101, as I mentioned, there's 333 islands in total. About half of those are inhabited. We do have two main islands, which I'll take you through momentarily. Viti Levu, which is our big island, and then Vanuatu, our second largest island up further north. The majority of the rest of the islands are pretty small. We have a lot of one resort, private islands type of deal, which is really special. Fiji is a former British colony, so you'll see a lot of those nuances when you're traveling around. We just celebrated Fiji Day, which is their Independence Day, on October the 10th. And then Fiji is a Melanesian heritage with a twist, though, and you'll really find that Fiji is sort of a melting pot of cultures. About 60% are local native Fijians, and about 40% actually are of Indian heritage that you'll find. So it really makes a great melting pot of cultures, and especially in the food that you'll find in Fiji. English is the official language of Fiji, so very easy for your Canadian travelers to get by there. You'll also, find Fijian, of course, spoken pretty widely around Fiji, as well as Hindi. June to September is peak season. So our summer, their winter. And that's when you'll get the really mild temperatures in Fiji. It's drier, so you won't get as much rain. When then January to March is what we call our tropical season. It's a little hotter. You'll find a little bit more rain, but truly Fiji is beautiful year round. It's always going to be pretty perfect warmth and weather. All you'll need is maybe a light sweater for the evenings, but that's it. And shoulder season, which is our fall or spring, is a really great time to travel there as well. The US dollar is about equivalent to 2 Fijian dollars, and it is a no tipping culture. So your dollar does go very far on the ground in Fiji, and there's no visas needed for US and Canadian citizens. All right, now we're going to go through a trip through Fiji's different regions. And we will start with just a quick map of an overview so you can see. So like I mentioned, you'll see there the big island of Viti Levu. That's where Nandi, which is the international airport that you would fly into, is located there under the airplane. Port Denarau, which is about a 20-minute drive from Nandi, is the hub of where you would catch all of your inter-island ferries where you can take day trips to islands. It's sort of a tourism hub where you'll find a lot of those bigger name hotels. And then you'll see, the Western Islands up above. Vanuatu, like I mentioned, is kind of the big island in the north. and the outer islands, which you'll see very dispersed down there to the right. So just a quick glimpse before we dive a little deeper into the different regions. So we'll start with Viti Levu, which quite literally means big Fiji. Viti means Fiji. So again, it's where you'll find the international airport. It is also the domestic airport, so that's where you would get connections out to some of the further islands. You can see dispersed with a mini orange airplane where some of those domestic airports are located. As I mentioned, Denarau is a big hub for tourism and kind of the gateway to a lot of different other areas of Fiji. 20 minutes south of the Nandi Airport. So you arrive to Nandi International Airport, you hop in a cab or a ground transfer and takes you to the hub right here, which you can see all the various yachts and ferries that'll take you to the inner islands. As I mentioned, it's truly the gateway to the Western Islands. You'll see up there in the top left corner, South Sea Cruises. That's one of our inter-island ferry service that'll take you. You hop on the ferry and it drops everyone off at their various hotels in the islands. It's a pretty fun experience. Just below that, you'll see one of our day islands. So there's a lot of different day trips. Should you be staying on the main island or Denarau, you can hop on one of the ferries that'll take you out to a private island for the day where you can enjoy a day club and cultural activities and all of that. And then the top right, you'll just see one of the many restaurants that you'll find in Denarau Marina as well. Some of the accommodations that you'll find in Denarau, again, a lot of those bigger name brand hotels that have, 200, 300 rooms. So also very big for conferences and meetings and that sort of thing. So we have the Hilton, the Sofitel, which has its own adults only Y2E beach club, which is newly renovated. We have a bit large Westin that's actually closed for renovation until 2023. We have the brand new renovated Sheraton Resort and Villas, as well as a large Radisson Blue Resort. So those are the main hotels that you'll find in Denarau. Now we'll move down to Fiji's Coral Coast. So this is just about a 45 to 120 minute drive from Nandi. And this is where you'll find lots of really great, especially family-friendly hotels kind of dispersed down that drive, as well as some great areas for adventure. So here's just a look at Natandola Beach, which is one of the incredible white sand, gorgeous beaches. I mean, look at those waters. This is just sort of a quick glimpse of what the Coral Coast looks like. Again, here's some snorkeling with those crystal clear turquoise waters right off the coast of the hotel there in the background. One of the really great tourist activities that you can access by this Coral Coast is the Singatoka River Safari. You hop on this jet boat that you'll see here. You go up the Singatoka River and you'll actually go into one of the local Fijian villages, a traditional village, for the day. It's one of truly the most special experiences in Fiji. You'll be welcomed into the village by the chief and a kava ceremony. You'll get to, meet and greet all of the local people there who will just welcome you with open arms. They actually cook you lunch and you get to sort of just spend some time and get to know them. It's really, really special. Eco tracks as well. You'll take these electric bikes that you see here and it goes through an old sugarcane railroad actually. So it's a really great way to sort of see the inner islands of Fiji. And again, you'll go into a local village and get that experience as well. Upper Nuvua river rafting, like I said, there's whitewater rafting in Fiji. A lot of people don't realize this. It is a great way to see the inner of the main island of Viti Levu. We do have class 2 and 3 rapids. So this is done by a company called Rivers Fiji, who's a really great eco-friendly, sustainable partner, sort of leading the charge in Fiji as well. So a very cool activity for your clients. And just a quick overview of the Coral Coast resorts. There is a Doubletree, a Marriott Momi Bay, an Intercontinental, a Shangri-La, and an Outrigger. Those are all very large resorts by scale in Fiji. So here's just a quick look at where those are located. And again, the Coral Coast spans all the way from about 40 minutes south to Nandi to about 2 hours just before you get down to the Pacific Harbor region. So here's just a quick look at the Doubletree by Hilton, a really great family-friendly resort. The Marriott Momi Bay, which is built on this beautiful lagoon here. Momi Bay is family-friendly, but it's also a very popular honeymoon resort here in Fiji. They do have those overwater bungalows, which you'll see just one of 3 resorts in Fiji that has those. But very, very beautiful berets built there on the beach that are either lagoon side or ocean side. Moving on to the Intercontinental, which you'll see on the very picturesque Natandola Beach. Again, a great family-friendly resort, but popular for couples as well. Shangri-La, this is our largest resort, so very big for large-scale conferences, but it is family-friendly. It's actually on its own island, technically, but it is accessible from the Coral Coast and the main island. It's just a very small little piece of land that connects them by bridge. The Outrigger, very, very popular for families here. You can see at the tippy top of this picture here, that is the spa. That is a building that overlooks the whole resort and the ocean. Absolutely incredible. Lots of different restaurants on property here. Wonderful kids club. And of course, a lot of families do love the Outrigger brand. So this is a great option. The Warwick, this is just down the road from Outrigger. Another really great one with some beautiful, beautiful coral that you can see out front there in those very picturesque turquoise waters. So that wraps up the Coral Coast. We will move now to Fiji's western island groups. So the Mamanutha Islands and the Asawas, which are located just due west and due northwest of the main hub of Nandi. And these are a lot of smaller islands that are scattered throughout, very accessible from the main island. And you can find, a resort for every type of traveler here. A lot of romance resorts, great wellness, some amazing family-friendly resorts, and a whole lot of adventure too. So starting with the Mamanutha Islands, these are incredible, easy to reach. That South Sea Cruises ferry that we talked about earlier is the boat that you would get on to then be dropped off at your own island. You can also organize a private boat from Port Denarau if you wish. You can do a helicopter if you want to get there in about 10 to 15 minutes. And there's seaplane options as well. So very accessible, easy to get to. The South Sea Cruises is incredibly affordable if you want to go the ferry route. But this is just the cluster of islands right off the coast of Nandi. This here is Mamanutha Beach. Again, Mamanuthas are really known for a lot of those honeymoon resorts and romance. So you'll find a lot of great private islands here that offer special romantic picnic options and that sort of thing. Great for snorkeling. Just about every resort in Fiji offers snorkeling right off the shores of their resort. Fiji has some of the most vibrant and healthy coral that you'll see. And you can see here Mondriki Island is in the Mamanuthas. This is where the movie Castaway was filmed. So there's a really great tour that can be operated from most of the resorts in the region that'll actually take you to the island. There is still a piece of the ship that was used on set that's on island here. So yeah, this is a really fun tour if you're a Tom Hanks Castaway fan. The Mamanuthas is also where the world-class Cloudbreak is based. This is, as you can see, an insane wave. Surfing is huge in Fiji. We get a lot of pro surfers and avid surfers coming from all over the world to surf Cloudbreak right here. And there are a couple surf resorts that are right next to the break, but you can also access it from the majority of the Mamanutha resorts as well. This here is our famous floating bar, Cloud9. This is a great excursion you can do from either the mainland of Viti Levu or even closer in the Mamanuthas. You can come out here in the morning for a half-day session. They offer a full bar. They have wood-fired pizzas on board. You can snorkel right off. And you can see up at the tippy top there's a place to dive off of the floating bar as well into the ocean. Super fun experience. They also do private charters for groups looking to have the bar all to themselves. And here's just a gorgeous picture of a Mamanutha sunset. These islands all face west, so it gets the best sunsets in Fiji. Now we're moving, this is just a quick overview of some of the hotels in the Mamanuthas. Vomo Island Resort, a great luxury private island up there at the top. Tokariki Island Resort and Sheraton Tokariki, both on the same island. Matamanoa, a nice adults-only resort. It's on its own island. Mana Castaway Resort, which is part of the Outrigger Group, Liku Liku, Malolo, and Tropica, all on one island of Malolo, and then Musket Cove, Lomani, and Plantation, all on the island of Malolo Lailai. So again, lots of great options, romance, some are family friendly, all really great for adventure. This is just a quick look at Vomo Island. This is where we actually had Rebel Wilson and we filmed our Open for Happiness campaign for Fiji's reopening. She absolutely loved Vomo. It's gorgeous. Tokariki Island Resort. This is a boutique, adults only, just about 14 berets here on the island of Tokariki. And then right on the other side of this island, you'll find the Sheraton, which is very family friendly. Also very popular for some honeymoons as well. The left-hand side of the resort you can see there is their suite of honeymoon berets. So they do have a little bit of separation of families on one side and adults on the other side. And they are about to go through a pretty significant renovation as well. This here is Matamanoa Island Resort. A tiny little private island with some incredible rooms here. Yes, this is just one of my favorites. Truly incredible food. Fun to just walk around the island. You can do it in about 20 minutes or so. It's that small. Mana Island. This is a great one for families. Definitely one of the larger resorts in the Mamanuthas. Castaway Island, incredible for families. A really, really great kids club that they have there. Great food, a very solid choice for families who want to get off the main island of Viti Levu and stay out in the islands. Liku Liku, this is one of our great romance luxury resorts. As you can see, this is 2 out of the 3 that have those overwater bungalows. And it sits on a pretty incredible reef where you can just dive right off your balcony, right, and do some snorkeling. They also have beachfront berets, as you can see in the background as well. Malolo Island, this is Liku Liku's sister property that's family friendly, so just around the corner on the same island. Again, great location for families who want to get off the mainland. Tropica Island, on that same island as Liku Liku and Malolo. This Tropica is an adults-only resort. One of the best resorts for those really looking for a cultural experience. They have an incredible staff and they do cultural activities all day. Really great option for sort of that mid-tier adult traveler. Lomani Island Resort. Lomani means love in Fijian. This is another adults only. So it's really great for honeymoons and romance. And if I may say so, this is where my wedding will be taking place in May of next year. So also really great for destination weddings. They have about 30 rooms on site. So it's a good option for a buyout for a wedding or a special event as well. And then just down the way on that same island, you have Musket Cove Resort, much larger, multiple room types. So you can have 2-bedroom suites where you can fit your whole family. This is a great family option as well. And then now moving up north to the Asawa Islands. These are just due north of the Mamanuthas. Very remote up here. Some of the most beautiful, expansive white sand beaches. You just get a lot of privacy. You just feel like you're in another world without people around you. It's absolutely incredible. So this is about a 2-hour ferry from Port Denarau, or most people will opt to take a 30-minute seaplane. So there is a landing strip, which you'll see there with the airplane. And Asawa Islands are particularly great for adventurers and romantics. This you'll see Yawini Beach. This is one of the 12 private beach options that you get at Asawa Island Resort. It is at the tippy top of all of Fiji. It's incredible. And Asawa Island Resort does an excursion where they will drop you off with that picnic that you'll see there, and lunch and champagne. And they'll actually give you a walkie-talkie where you can request more champagne if you wish, and they will come drop it off for you there. Absolutely beautiful. The Asawa Islands are also home to the Sawa Ilau caves that you'll see here. These are some great limestone caves. You'll see just one of the caves here. You actually have to go dive under the water and swim through an underwater tunnel to get to the next cave. Absolutely incredible, fun experience, should you be brave enough. This, as I mentioned, is the Asawa Island Resort. This is adults only. Great option for honeymoons, a great sort of mid-tier, all-inclusive option for just a romance traveler in general. Like I said, they have 12 different private beaches that they drop you off at for the day. You truly may not see another traveler while you're up in the Asawas. This resort has about 18 rooms in total, so very boutique. Captain Cook Cruises. This is one of our very popular cruise lines in Fiji, one of two. Captain Cook is our family-friendly line, so you can take 3, 4, and 7-night cruising options that'll take you through the Mamanuthas as well as up to the Asawa Islands. You'll get to dock and do the Sawa Ilau caves. You'll go to private beaches. You'll stop in a local village. Really fun experience for families or adults on their own. And our other cruise line, the adults only, is Blue Lagoon Cruises. They have similar itineraries as well. You can do a 3, a 4, or a 7-night cruise. Now we will head up to Fiji's north, Fiji's second largest island of Vanuatu that you'll see there. And just to the right of that is Taveuni, our third largest island. These are tropical paradises. It's incredibly lush and green up there. It rains a little bit more, but the landscape is truly beautiful. Whereas the Mamanuthas and Asawas are known more for those white sand beach, turquoise waters, a little bit drier. The northern islands of Vanuatu and Taveuni are known for the rainforests, some waterfalls that you can go hike to. We like to say it's where the rainforest meets the reef. So that, of course, lends itself to some great adventure, as well as some romance and family hotels as well. Now, to get to these islands, you would take a domestic Fiji Link flight. That's the domestic arm of Fiji Airways. So upon landing at Nandi International Airport, you would take a quick 60-minute flight to get to Savu-Savu on Vanuatu, or roughly 90 minutes to get up to Taveuni. And I will say the flight is one of the best experiences in Fiji. Sure, it takes slightly more time to get there than it does on the main island, but the flight is so worth it. Each flight holds about 20 people, and it's just a great way to see Fiji from above as you travel over the main island, and lots of little islands along the way. So this is just an overview look of Sabu-Savu Town and Marina. We just had a huge Wall Street Journal feature on this little town. It's incredible. A lot of expats have come here and they've never left Fiji. So it is a big harbor and marina town here. It's the home of J. Hunter Pearls, one of our most popular Fijian pearl distributor here. Absolutely beautiful. Here's a look at Savusabou Bay. In general, Savusabou is incredibly well known for its diving. If you're not a diver, the snorkeling is quite honestly just as beautiful. So the best snorkeling I've ever done. Here's just a look at some of the bright fluorescent coral reefs and fish that you will see thriving in this area. Like I said, there's some really great rainforest hikes up here. Lots of different options, no matter where you're staying on Vanuatu and Taveuni. Definitely a can't miss activity if you do travel to the Northern Islands. The Salt Lake, this is a lesser known activity, but you can actually kayak through the Salt Lake, as you can see in this photo here. And just a quick overview of the resorts in Savu-Savu, the Jean-Michel Cousteau Resort. Of course, Jean-Michel is the son of Jacques Cousteau. So it is a very sustainable and eco-friendly hotel there at the tip of Savusabou Bay. About 20 rooms, so very boutique, but some of the best family programming and kids club that you'll find in Fiji. A bit further down the road is Namali Resort. Now this is adults only, very popular for honeymoons. It's actually one of our only truly all-inclusive properties in Fiji, meaning that your alcohol is included as well and your meals. And then right next door is Savasi Resort. Absolutely beautiful villa configurations. You can get a multi 3-4 bedroom villa, which could be great for families, especially multi-generational families. And then furthest down the road there is Koro Sun Resort. This is the biggest property of the 4 you'll see here. This is family friendly. They have many different room types as well for all different budgets. So you can stay in a garden room, which is just above the road, or you can stay in an Edgewater Bure right on the water there as well. Here's a quick view of Jean-Michel Cousteau Resort. Again, incredible snorkeling just right off the shore there. Big dive resort where you can go very close by to some world-class dive sites. And a little fun fact about Jean-Michel Cousteau Resort is actually, it's been said that the movie Finding Nemo was based off of the clownfish that are found while staying at this resort. Here's a look at Namali. Truly everything at this resort really caters towards romance. These berets you'll find are a bit higher up in the rainforest over the cliffs. So some really, really great views a bit higher up as well from Namali. Here's a look at Savasi Island. You can see some of the multi-bedroom villas there in the background. In the back left of the photo there, you can also see the boat that actually has accommodations on the boat there as well. So that's another option to stay in as well. And then Koro Sun Resort, like I mentioned, much bigger, lots of different room types. You can see the Edgewater berets here at the bottom, as well as some floating berets in the lagoon as well. So Koro Sun's a great option for families or a girlfriend's trip. Definitely caters to a wide range of budgets. Now over to Taveuni. Taveuni is our third largest island in Fiji. It's Fiji's garden island, as we like to call it, or scuba heaven. One of the furthest places you can get to in Fiji, but very, very worthwhile once you're out there. Certainly caters to adventurers, some romance as well. As you can see by the little drawings here, you have diving, golfing, surfing, you have it all up in Taveuni. Here's a picture of the Great White Wall, one of the world famous dive sites in Fiji that is accessible from Taveuni. This here as well, one of our waterfalls that you'll see. They are all over Taveuni. You can do plenty of different hikes. It's also known to a national heritage park that you can, or a national park over in Taveuni. So definitely good for adventurers looking to get out and be a little more active than your lay on the beach vacation. This here is the Lavena Coastal Walk. You can go for miles here on the coast, as you can see, some incredible flora and fauna around the way, as well as some great ocean views. Here's our famous rock slide in Taveuni. As you can see, you can start way up there at the top and actually slide down this natural rock slide that you'll find. And a quick overview of Taveuni resorts here. Matangi Private Island is just off the coast of Taveuni, so you would access that by flying into Taveuni, then hopping on a boat out to the private island. And then Paradise Taveuni Resort, which is on the other side of Taveuni as well. These are two of the main ones. This here that you can see is Horseshoe Bay, which is on the other side of Matangi Island. This was one of the best places to see, or 1,000 places to see before you die. So it's a very special location and absolutely incredible, as you can see by that shade of turquoise in the photo. And then this here is Paradise Taveuni as well. A little bit smaller of a resort here, a few berets on the coral. Another really great option if you're staying at Taveuni. And then, of course, there's some of our outer island resorts. These can be accessed by Nandi through a private flight, or you can fly across Viti from Nandi to Suva and hop on a boat. But Royal Davui Resort, which you can see near the arrow there, really great romance resort, great for honeymoons. It's a tiny private island with about 14 villas that are just expansive in size, a really great option out there. And then Kokomo Island Resort is a private island as well, a lot bigger. This skews very, very luxury, but it is family friendly as well. Here's a view of Royal Davui. As you can see, just the sheer size of those berets. Each of them has their own plunge pool. You can probably walk around this island in about 15 minutes. Very small, But again, the rooms are very large in size. And this here is Kokomo. You can see the private landing strip, so you can access this by private seaplane or helicopter. Kokomo has a lot of rooms to suit every type of traveler. They have typical beachfront bourrées, and they also have multi-bedroom residences. So that can be a great option for multi-generational families. I believe they go up to 6 bedrooms residences where you can all stay together. Okay, who's ready for Fiji? I hope that was a helpful overview of some of the different regions of Fiji and islands. And I assure you, our website has plenty more information, as well as the individual resort websites to go a little further in depth. Now, Proud, Miranda is our trade partnerships manager. She's attending IMEX right now in Vegas, but she is your go-to point of contact for all of your questions and needs. She is based in our LA office along with myself and Ruth. And Proud just started with us about 5 months ago, and her knowledge of Fiji, it feels like she's been with us for 5 years. She's a superstar. So please take note of her email and reach out for anything that you might need. We have launched our new Matai specialist program. So this is our travel advisor training program. I will leave this QR code up here for a few moments so you can scan. You can also visit specialist.fiji.travel. Just a quick note, if you were a current Matai, you must re-enroll in the new program now that we have the updated program with new modules and all of that online. So again, please scan the QR code, visit the website, or reach out to Proud with any questions you might have on that. But definitely encourage you all to get Matai certified. You'll get a nice badge that you can include on your website and your email. And it's a really great way to further your knowledge of Fiji. Just a quick note that we have done a co-op campaign with Goway. So this is live now. Fiji Airways as well is a part of this. So we have some packages that in a direct landing page where all of these lead to. So we are in market with that currently. We were very excited to be on the cover of Canadian Travel Press, as you can see. We had one of the writers out to Fiji, and Rubenstein, upon opening. So we're definitely making some headway, and with headlines in Canada media, and we're just very excited to be in market. So that brings us to the end here. Vanaka Vakalevu, that means thank you very much, and Sotatale, which means see you soon. We really hope this was informational. We hope to welcome you and your clients to Fiji soon. And I believe now we will open it up to any questions you might have.
Thanks so much, Hannah. Really appreciate that presentation. So if anyone does have any more questions, feel free to ask them in the chat or in the Q&A section, and Hannah can get to them verbally, or Ruth can respond to them in the chat. And thank you, everybody, for being here. We're so grateful that you were able to join. Again, a recording of this webinar will be sent to everyone, along with the handouts, and the slides as well will be sent to everyone who was on this call and anyone who registered as well in about 24 hours. It looks like we have one question in the Q&A. Any code share with other airlines? John, I'm not sure if you can speak to that, or maybe Hannah.
Yes, we do have some code shares. Now, currently within Canada, we do not code share, but we do have interline service. And thank you for bringing this up. I should have mentioned this in my presentation. We are interlining with both Air Canada and WestJet. So for those of you who are not in Vancouver, we do have through fares from across Canada. and you can connect. You can connect using either Air Canada or WestJet. Just one little heads up is that if you are booking a ticket beyond Fiji, say to Australia or New Zealand, you do have to use WestJet. We can't use Air Canada for flights to Australia, New Zealand. But if it's just for Fiji or other destinations in the South Pacific, you can use either carrier.
Great, thanks. And it looks like there's another question in the chat. Is there a particular property that would be good for those with wheelchairs?
A particular property, I would just say something on the main island of Viti Levu would be very accessible. Port Denarau, as I mentioned, kind of that travel hub, would be very wheelchair accessible. Most of those hotels, of course, have elevators and the necessary ramps and all of that to accommodate. A bit tougher as you go into more of the outer islands. Some of those private islands in the Mamanuthas have what we call a wet landing, where you hop off, the boat with water on your ankles to get on there. So yeah, the Coral Coast and Port Denarau would be very good options for that.
Thanks, Hannah. Appreciate it. And it looks like we have a few more in the Q&A section, so we can get to these. Yeah, is there a way to incorporate Hawaii? Is there a way to incorporate Hawaii as a stop on a circle trip to Fiji?
Yes, it wouldn't be our recommendation, of course, but there are direct flights a couple days a week from Honolulu to Fiji. That is twice a week, I believe, right now. John, correct me.
Yeah, it is less frequent between Nandi and Honolulu, and not all the flights are direct. There are some that make a stop in Kiribati. So it is a bit of a puddle jumper to get from Nandi to Honolulu, but it's definitely possible.
You'll just find you love Fiji that much more.
Thank you both. Great. And last question here that I see: what is the cost of meals on average?
That very much varies depending on where you're staying. So a lot of resorts do offer a meal plan, which I think is quite affordable. So typically at most resorts, your room rate will include breakfast, and you can opt into a meal plan that either includes lunch and dinner or just dinner. Those, I would say, on average would be about, I don't know in Canadian dollars, but $75 to $80 US for the day. So yeah, it's very affordable. Again, I think if you opt into that meal plan, it is a bit of a savings, but you can also order a la carte at most resort options as well. And at the end of the day, typically the more luxury resorts will have a bit higher of a price point for meals, whereas the more budget friendly will have more budget friendly dining options. So I hope that helps a little bit, and happy to follow up with you on more specifics.
Thanks, Hannah. I appreciate that. Great. Okay, I think that's all the questions from the Q&A section and all the questions from the chat. So yeah, just a quick reminder to, if you haven't already, subscribe to Baxter Media's publications. You'll see at the top of your chat, there's a link there to subscribe on travelpress.com. Also, if you would like to follow us on LinkedIn, we're there. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, so feel free to follow us there and learn about upcoming webinars and our publications as well. So yeah, thanks for being here, everybody. Really appreciate it. Good to see everybody. Thanks again to Hannah, John, and Ruth. Really appreciate your time today.
Oh, well, thanks everyone for joining. We really appreciate your time as well.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye now.